Todavía esta ventana abierta para las transferencias, las incorporaciones y desvinculaciones. El Villareal, que lo primero que hizo para reemplazar a Luciano Vieto, Eduardo, el arribo de Leo Batistao.
Claro.
Importante, con muy pocas chances, no ha jugado en Atlético de Madrid, la última temporada en el Rayo Vallecano. La vuelta de Mariano Barbosa, sin chances en el Sevilla, ya atajado en el Villareal, con 30 años el argentino vuelve, le va a pelear el puesto a Sergio Asenjo. Vamos a ver a Manu Castillejo, muy buen jugador, proyecto de gran jugador del Málaga, pero esto obviamente que no termina en el equipo de Marcelino, tendrá competencia de Europa League esta temporada. Se especulan que entre 10 y 11 incorporaciones pueden llegar al Villareal para la temporada que se inicia. Por lo tanto, estamos hablando de un equipo que va a tener sus refuerzos importantes, más allá de estos nombres que estamos mencionando y que ya los podemos ver en la tarde de hoy aquí en Londres.
La imagen de Dieter Hecking, el entrenador, el adiestrador del Wolfsburgo,
que tiene un nuevo jugador sudamericano. La firma en la semana y los peruanos estarán siguiendo a Carlos Ascuez, el ex jugador de la Alianza Lima.
Acaba de llegar. Va a pelear un puesto en la mitad de la cancha, una mitad que lo tiene a Luis Gustavo, el brasileño, como titular en esa zona, pero que Guilabogui, Ascuez y demás van a pelear un lugar. Mira qué pase profundo, había interrumpido muy bien el jugador de Bruin jugando para Cruce. La salida de Víctor Ruiz. Naldo, girando Naldo, pisa Naldo, salió con tremenda categoría. El gigante, el zaguero brasileño de Londrina, con su 1,98 m, salió pisándola. La Bogui, Naldo. Por este costado el croata Perisic, Vieirini, el portugués. Retrocediendo con Naldo. Cambio de frente que viene para Schaffer. De una Schaffer. Pelota al área que venía para Cruce. El lanzamiento no resulta bueno. Y el cambio de frente de Bruyne.
El Villareal, Eduardo, con Nahuel Leiva, el argentino, con el número 18, jugando en la mitad de la cancha. Por izquierda, Trigueros, Bruno y Samu Castillejo con la 8, recostado sobre ese sector. Batistao sobre la derecha, con Gerard Moreno en la ofensiva. Jaume Costa bien marcado de lateral izquierdo, en este caso con la número 18, allí lo vemos aquí sobre este sector.
Bruno Soriano retrocediendo con Víctor Ruiz, la salida del zaguero, el toque en corto para que domine Manu Trigueros, la apertura por derecha para que venga Mario. Ahí está Mario la pone por bajo hacia Batistao. La salida del fondo, Arnold, descarga de Cruce, imperfecta. Aquí está Jaume Costa, encarando el marcapunta con vocación ofensiva. Qué alto va a apretar, ¿no?
Sí, Wolfsburgo, subcampeón en Alemania. La línea defensiva repite 3 titulares de 4. Solamente la ausencia de brasileño Gabriel Paulista, que fue transferido al Arsenal.
Centro, Barbosa. Cuando arremetía Perisic y también el Cruce.
Buen juego asociado por izquierda. La primera pared que se construye sobre esa banda que surgió de un lateral, y después sin problemas Mariano Barbosa.
Arnold. Para anoche, apertura por derecha para Caligiuri, que no controló bien. Va a Gerard Moreno, buen regreso de Vieirinha. Yo de última en Vieirinha. Al trabar Jaume Costa. Y el lateral del marcapunta. Son los primeros movimientos de partido, señores. Y de la Emirates Cup se mueven los equipos. Este Villarreal que no ha convencido de los amistosos que ha jugado. Inclusive viene a empatar 1-1 con el Gimnàstic de Tarragona, pero jugando mal. Linda pelotita al área para Batistao, el centro. ¡Oh! El remate de zurda, gol. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Del submarino amarillo. Batistao por la derecha, centro atrás, el rebote y el volante Iro, delantero que venía acompañando el remate para clavarla de zurda contra el ángulo más lejano de Castells. Gran llegada del volante externo para la definición estupenda 1-0 el submarino amarillo.
Una muy buena definición de Samu Castillejo, de zurda, la metió en el ángulo, la clavó bien arriba. Un golazo del Villarreal en la primera llegada del equipo de Marcelino, sin situaciones en el inicio, una gran definición y una muy buena definición para marcar la diferencia. No se puede hablar de jugada ni de justicia en este inicio, donde nos estábamos acomodando, solo la calidad en la definición del ex Málaga para el 1-0.
Arriba ganando Bailey.
Mario Gaspar.
1-0. Armada. El club. Olvidando Gerard Moreno, viene Gerard Moreno con el revés del pie zurdo, la cambiaba por el otro lado para Nahuel Leiva. Y la Boguí para Nahuel Leiva. Que está el croata para empujarla al empate. Estamos 1-1.
Bueno, tocó y pasó y encontró libertades en la profundidad de este sector. Fíjense ustedes cómo el lateral toca y va a buscar, se compromete con la jugada. Después obviamente De Bruyne suelta rápido al espacio, todo elaborado en profundidad por banda derecha para que en el sector opuesto llegue acompañando la jugada y defina Perisic. La jugada que distrae y que se profundiza por un lado y finaliza por el otro. El croata que define, que él la tendrá que pelear, Eduardo, porque claro, en esa posición lo tiene Andre Jurle.
Bienvenido sea. Está el hashtag Fútbol por ESPN para intervincularnos, interrelacionarnos. Bueno, arrancó lindo el partido.
Arrancó muy bueno. Sí.
Gran pase de Bruyne, ¿no? Mirá, ahí están los jugadores del Arsenal a la espera.
Ni más ni menos que Merzaker, Ozil y está Peter Cech.
Sí, señor.
La nueva incorporación con Santi Cazorla.
Ahí se lo ve. Sí, la Cech. Después de tantos años. El Dortmund en el año 2013, hombre del Brujas, y que también jugara en el Ruslar de Bélgica en sus comienzos, ¿no? Naldo, hubo un argentino que fue una gran figura del Ruslar.
¿Sí?
Sí, Tremendo goleador, ¿eh? El tiempo es el que el Rula jugaba en el ascenso. Ahora es distinta la realidad en la liga belga. La falta de Kevin De Bruyne, que fue el que metió el pase genial ahí por la derecha para romper líneas, y el posterior centro para el gol de Perisic. Presión en este caso contra Samu Castillejo. Apertura por izquierda para Jaume Costa. Aquí está el marcapunta. Puede entregar para Nahuel Leiva. Marca de Naldo. Jaume Costa que lucha. La cucharearon hacia la posición de cruce. Recuperando Bruno Soriano. ¡Qué lindo pase hermoso! Para Gerard Moreno. El corte va Nahuel Leiva. Va contra la marca de Vieirinha, que cerró muy bien el portugués. Jaume Costa. Nahuel Leiva. Qué buen giro. Buenísima la de...
Miren ustedes cómo gira Caño y después Toque va a buscar otra vez la devolución.
Y la Bogui quedó en posición ridícula, ¿no? Y ahí en el regreso no comete falta, convengamos en el forcejeo, ¿no? El francés de ascendencia guineana.
Suplentes de los Lobos, el titular es Diego Benaglio, Wedner con muchos problemas, Klose, Praj, André Jurle, Grun y Jan, lateral volante que habitualmente es recambio en este equipo de Dieter Hecking. No está Bas 2, Eduardo, no está el muy buen holandés, delantero goleador, 1,95 m, que fue la figura también de los Lobos, subcampeones en Bundesliga.
Bruno Soriano, pase por bajo de Samu Castillejo, picó tardíamente a esa sesión Gerard Moreno. Manu Trigueros, Mario que tira la pared, autor del gol, viene para Castillejo, Castillejo de una y está offside. Offside de Gerard Moreno. Era muy buena la triangulación interna, ¿eh?
Sí.
Buena subida al marcapunta, otra vez Mario protagonista como en la jugada del gol. Este es el pase de Castillejo, aunque al
adelantado, sí. Sí, cae en posición adelantada. Mucho paso en ofensiva del lateral derecho que terminó anotando Mario Gaspar. Encuentra amplitud sobre ese sector y también referencia por adentro. Ahí lo vemos a el otro punta que acompaña a Leo Batistao. Un Gerard Moreno que mantiene su segunda temporada. El francés del PSG a préstamo aquí, Jokic, Pina, Pantic, Alejo, el argentino Acosta y Espinosa. Otro de los buenos valores. Un banco muy juvenil, hablando de jugadores de submarino de referencia. Cani, que en los últimos 6 meses estuvo en el Atlético de Madrid, se fue a jugar al...
was arriving as well.
Yeah, decent bowling from Perisic there. Just thought De Bruyne there, he was holding out on the edge of the box. Maybe he could have made that run in and around the... De Bruyne there, he was holding out on the edge of the box. Maybe he could have made that run.
Baptiste Aldi, flicked by Gerard Moreno, was a really clever one, and it's Noel, and it's 2-1 to Villareal. And the teenager Gets himself on the score sheet. Matías Nahuel, such a promising young player, involved with Spain's under-19s at the successful European Championship this summer, given his chance by Marcelino, and he's taken it.
Well, 3 goals already within 17 minutes. They're certainly taking the competition seriously. Scoring goals may win them this competition. Maybe just a shade offside there. You've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, I'm not too sure, but from this point on it was the dreadful defending from Wolfsburg, and Villareal there wasn't strong enough, and Moreno did well, and it's a great little finish from Nahuel. 2-1.
Was there a foul in the build-up there? It was involving Leo Baptistão.
Well, for me, he went down a bit too easy. I think Knocker was probably looking for it there, and as I said, I'm not sure if Villareal's an out-and-out right back, and it was a little bit too easy there, and Gerard Moreno just used his strength to nod the ball on, and I must say it was a great finish, composed finish from the young man.
Moved to Spain at the age of 14, Nahuel, to join the Villareal Academy, that from Argentina, where he was born. Made his first team debut in January of 2014, but judging on this little glimpse that we've had from him in the opening 18 minutes or so at Emirates Stadium, it really does look promising. Of course, it's nothing new, is it, Villareal, and bringing players through their academy.
No, it's what we want to watch. The fans here, they want to be excited and bums off seat type football, and he's had a couple of glimpses already. But that, I mean, coming to the Emirates in this stadium, and he took that finish really, really calmly. Fair play to him, well done.
It's Maximilian Arnold who will take the free kick here for Wolfsburg. It's going to be really interesting to see how he fits into the side over the coming season. Arnold was used in the number 10 role in their last pre-season friendly. He was also been earmarked for a place in that 2 in front of the back 4 as well. Will have to be versatile perhaps just to get in this team. The competition for places. Look that one in dangerously. Lay off by Kruse and Perisic on the turn. And Villareal was in there too.
Yeah, it was a really high line from Villareal. You see him dropping in there and defended in numbers, and this one here, I'm not sure if it's a shot or a cross, more of a shot I think there, and clearly you can see Villareal, 2 of them there offside. It's a late flag from the linesman, but the right decision.
Arsene Wenger watching on, patiently waiting for Arsenal, of course, to be in action. That against Lyon, live today on BT Sport. After this game, a real admirer of this competition, Arsene Wenger, saying yesterday actually how much he enjoys it. Talked about how it's competitive, but without that sort of added pressure that you could do without at this stage of the pre-season warm-ups.
Yeah, I'm sure he would love to go on and win this competition. It's for him now. Obviously they've got the Charity Shield coming up and then the season. It's another big season for Arsenal. The signings they're making and the talk of them having a lot of money to spend. Will he spend it? But you always get the feeling with Arsenal they can mount that challenge. I think if they can start the season this year off really well, I think last year they had 3 draws out of 4 in the opening games, really get off to a flyer and put the pressure on Chelsea and Man United and Man City, I think they can have another good season.
Leo Baptistão with the ball into the area. It's a good cross as well. It was causing all sorts of problems. It was Gerard Moreno trying to bring it down, and Robin Knocker did just enough there for Wolfsburg.
Yeah, he's not looked great so far, Knocker. He's looked a bit unsettled his last 2 or 3 minutes, and far too easy again for Gerard Moreno there, and another loose pass there. Look a bit shaky at the back, Wolfsburg.
Did have a difficult end to last season, Robin Knocker, when he lost his place in the centre of the defence to Tim Klose, who's on the bench today. He's got a job on his hands winning that position back as well. Klose saying recently how determined he is to keep that shirt. Perisic, supported by Kevin De Bruyne, and that's a heavy challenge by the referees, allowed the advantage. Perisic, De Bruyne back to his feet, supported here by Caligiuri. Kruse waits inside the area. Villareal arriving in support now as well, but Villareal have done well to get numbers back in defence. Arnold and Wolfsburg move it quickly here. 1-1 at the Emirates. Kevin De Bruyne tidied up here by Trigueros, who was the calmest man in the stadium there. Castillejo, recent arrival from Malaga, just rather ran out of steam. Recent arrival from Malaga. That's a bit of trouble here, Samuel Castillejo.
Yeah, it's the last thing his manager Marcelino will want to see. Just see him going forward there on the break, and there's not too much contact there. I think he'll be fine. I think it's just a a little touch and maybe his ankles clash together. I think he'll be fine. Looking at that replay, it looks to be okay. And like I say, this is 3 or 4 weeks to go for the season for Villareal. You certainly don't want to pick up any injuries.
He's had something of a meteoric rise really to prominence, Samu Castillejo, when he made his first team debut for Malaga back at the end of August last year. An impressive first season in La Liga. Interesting to see how he adapts to being away from Malaga. It's his hometown club. Been with them for some 8 years, but has, like pretty much every Villareal player, looked really lively, really up for it in these early stages of the Emirates Cup. And you wouldn't know, as you mentioned earlier, that there is a real difference in these sides in terms of their readiness for the new season, with Villareal not underway in La Liga until the end of August.
Yeah, we're talking about Wolfsburg. I mean, this is German Super Cup, obviously against Bayern Munich. They'll really want to win that game and get the season up and running, pick up some silverware, give them the confidence going forward that they can beat Bayern, they can close that gap. And I think with a week to go, some of the defending we've seen already is, I'm sure Dieter Hecking will be concerned about that. This is, you know, they've done the hard work, they've done the preparation. It's their 5th game in pre-season. They should be getting into good habits now. And the 2 goals they conceded have been pretty soft, really.
Villareal. And now Naldo. Pre-season trips to England, nothing new for either of these sides. Villareal were also here last summer. They won 2-0 at Middlesbrough and 3-0 at Swansea. Summer of 2013 saw them beat Brighton 3-1. Wolfsburg also spent some pre-season time in the UK last summer, had a friendly at Cardiff City which ended 3-3. But it's Villareal who certainly started this game the stronger, given the lead by Matías Nahuel, just 18 years old. Villareal now sent forward here towards Max Kruse.
Villareal have started really well. You wouldn't know this is only their 2nd game in pre-season, not been back in training long. I think they're in England for a couple of weeks. They're going to play Derby and then Everton, I think, next week. So they're over here for a few weeks and they look a good side. And considering these are only 6th in the Liga last year, I think 16 points behind 5th. It shows you how good La Liga is really, and the type of teams that they've got over there, and the competition for Champions League spots in Spain is really, really high.
Bruno Soriano, the captain. He's involved, Bruno Soriano, in the side that finished runners-up in La Liga to Real Madrid back in 2008. Seems an age ago that. And the jury looking to seek out Kruse. Villareal. Now Arnold to Naldo. It's the first meeting between these clubs since a friendly 4 years ago, which ended 2-2. Towards Kruse. Judged header by Victor Ruiz. Layoff by Gerard Moreno. Judged header by Victor Ruiz. Layoff by Gerard Moreno. Last met competitively these teams in the Europa League round of 32 back in February of 2010. Wolfsburg won that one 6-3 on aggregate. Edin Dzeko was among the scorers. He went on to be knocked out by Fulham. You might recall in the quarter-finals that season. Among the scorers. Well, gives chase. Villareal just inviting the foul.
Yeah, we can see, I mean, Wolfsburg there, they've got 5 players, the ball's gone forward there, and they leave 5 players up the pitch, and it really is kind of leaving it to those guys at the back to defend. And I want to see a little bit more from Caligiuri getting back and trying to help Villareal back here against the young boy Nahuel. I mean, they look a bit tired, a bit leggy at the minute. This is a week to go before the season kicks off in such a competitive game. So I think the manager, Dieter Hecking, want to see a little bit more in terms of getting back into the shape and getting into those good habits.
And that Wolfsburg attack click into gear again here. Here's the newest arrival to it, Max Kruse. Has Perisic up in support. Ilavogi among those inside the area here, as is Kevin De Bruyne. Pass was intended for Kruse, and now the counter-attack is on for Villareal. Gerard Moreno, supported by Leo Baptistão. Now Nahuel, supported by Leo Baptistão. Nahuel must be really on a high, not just because of the goal that he scored, but for his performance at the Under-19 European Championship, as Max Kruse is on the end of a very heavy challenge there, particularly for a pre-season game.
Yeah, just his timing was out there. We're giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's early on in pre-season. I don't think he was ever going to get to this ball, and Drusa gets there well before him, and I think we would normally see a yellow card in that instance, and I think he's booked in for that one as well, even though it's pre-season.
The referee today is Bobby Madley, just calling over Victor Ruiz for a chat, and also to produce a yellow card as well. Surely can be little in the way of complaint from Victor Ruiz, formerly of Valencia. He was part of the Spain squad that won the Under-21 European Championship back in 2011. We saw Arnold take a free kick from a similar position that caused problems. Can he do the same again here?
Again, it's a really high line from Villareal, so let's see how they defend this one.
Really get the contact that he would have wanted. Very little in the way of elevation from Max Arnold.
I think generally the set pieces will be the things that you generally practice last. The next week or two they'll be practicing hard on the set pieces. It's something you don't really work on until the latter stages of pre-season, so we'll give him an excuse for that, but it was a poor delivery.
Caligiuri just towards that near post, nowhere near a green shirt though. We have lots more live football coming up for you. The Emirates Cup continues tomorrow from 1:30. Lyon, who finished second in Liga last season, up against Villareal, who, as we mentioned, was 6th in La Liga, and of course as well the hosts Arsenal up against Wolfsburg tomorrow from 4 o'clock on BT Sport 1. Leo Baptiste looking to combine with Nahuel, intercepted by Gilavogi.
Yeah, something they should keep doing, get the ball out here to Nahuel, and I'd say Villareal's playing out here as right back. I'm not sure he's too comfortable playing there. We normally have Rodriguez out there, and we're getting the ball to him as much as I can. He looks lively, it's a real handful.
Arnold brought down. De Bruyne in space, and receives it to a man down in the other half at the moment for Villareal. Samuel Castillejo. Here's Gilavogi. Not the first time that Castillejo has gone down either in this first half. You just wonder whether it could be a reoccurrence from the problem that he had.
Possibly. I mean, we've seen the incident before. It looks like he's just irritated it further. Then there's no point in taking any risk now. As I say, it's very early on in their pre-season. They've only been back 2 or 3 weeks now, so if there's any doubt at all, let's get him off, get somebody else on, and make sure he's okay for the start of the season. There's no point in taking any risks at all.
I get the feeling he could be a really important player for Marcelino, Samuel Castillejo. Seen some glimpses of what he's capable of. This is how he has been hurt. Just an awkward fall, isn't it?
Yeah, looking at that one there, I thought it was just a reoccurrence from the first one we've seen, but seeing that, it just kind of gets stuck under his body there, and it could be a nasty one. He's up on his feet, I hope he's okay, but that just looks a little bit nasty, like he bent it like he shouldn't do there, but he's hobbling off, and like I said, there's no point in him carrying on. Let's get somebody else on and get him treated. I think it's the best thing for him.
Of course, it is a real balancing act, the Emirates Cup, for the head coaches as to how long to give players, because you've got squads of around 23 and 2 games in 2 days.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this is a pretty strong team from Wolfsburg. I won't see the starting lineup from the start of the season too far away from this. Obviously, Rodriguez would probably come in at right back, but this is a strong team from Wolfsburg. I'd expect them to now play 70, 75 minutes and get themselves ready for that big game against Bayern Munich next Saturday. For Villareal, I expect quite a few changes at half-time, and on the hour they'll make a whole host of changes, I'm sure about that.
So temporarily here down to 10 men, Villareal. Castillejo just hobbling down the touchline. Villareal. Caligiuri supported by Kevin De Bruyne. Castillejo, surprisingly, I have to say, and as Kevin Davis said, bearing in mind it is pre-season, has come back on here. You just hope that they don't live to regret that decision. Thumbs up to the bench.
I just wanted him to go off because he's got a tricky name, that's all.
It is certainly one of the more difficult ones as De Bruyne turns into trouble. Well, not long now, of course, until the Community Shield, a fixture that is always eagerly anticipated the FA Cup holders Arsenal against the Premier League winners Chelsea at Wembley next Sunday from 2:30 on BT Sport. Should be a fantastic game, that. All London affair.
Yep, I'll be coming down to cover that game, and already looking forward to that one. It's the game that really gets you going, and the season not too far away now. I'm sure everyone's been missing the Premier League, and it should be a fantastic game between those two. And we'll see if Arsene Wenger can get the better of Jose Mourinho for once.
He's certainly due a win over him, isn't he? Trigueros. Chased here by Kevin De Bruyne, who I have to say his work rate has been exceptional in this first half. Just missed by Mario Gaspar. Kruse gets involved, looking to find Perisic. Now Robin Canoca. Wide here for Villareal. De Bruyne. Just had Nauquel in the way. A rather cynical took back there by Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, great work from Villareal again. And this, I mean, I'm amazed it's only their second real pre-season game, and they're working so hard. They're set up in that 4-4-2, making it hard and difficult for Wolfsburg to break down, and you know, they're closing down with a real intent, and it's great to see so early on in their pre-season campaign.
There's plenty of pace and trickery down that left-hand side today for Villareal with Jaume Costa and Nauquel. As we've already seen Nauquel get on the score sheet. Here's Jaume Costa. A consistent player for Villareal, Jaume Costa. Up towards Leo Baptistão, took it down well enough, just got right underneath the shot. Will be eager to get on the score sheet, having arrived on loan from Atletico just recently.
Yeah, again, superb play, and what a ball that is from Nauquel, just nonchalantly outside of his right boot, and great run from Leo Baptistão, and unfortunately his shot didn't merit the pass, but great play again from those three. They're linking up really well. Been impressed with Gerard Moreno and Leo Baptistão so far, the way they're linking up and the strength, and the hold-up play's been really good, and they've got those exciting wingers coming in as well. They're looking a good side so far.
I'm sure the hierarchy at Villareal would have been delighted to read the transcripts of recent interviews with Leo Baptistão since he arrived at the club, bearing in mind where he's come from in Atleti. He said that first thing that caught his eye were the facilities at Villareal. He said they're slowly becoming an elite club. Villareal now. Caligiuri heading for that byline. Max Kruse waiting patiently and hopefully in the middle, but nothing came over.
Yeah, again working really hard, stopping the cross, making it difficult for Wolfsburg to try and get any penetration, but Villareal with a decent ball in there and well defended again. So they're set up well. You can say they're well drilled already this early on. And
Scheffel with the ball in towards De Bruyne. Nothing wrong with the cross.
Oh, superb delivery again. That's what I wanted to see before with Bruna getting into that box, scoring goals, and yeah, he gets assists, but can he score a few more goals? Brilliant bowling from Schaefer, just couldn't quite get the header on target, but that's what they're all about. Their interlink play, the movement from those front three, that striker, Cruz, they're a joy to watch at times, and they'll cause any team problems in Europe, let me tell you that.
Sure, Dieter Hecking is delighted to have a player like Marcel Schaefer to be able to bring into the side. His 9th season at the club. We hear so much, don't we, about their exciting young players, their creativity in the final third, their goal threat. Maybe don't hear quite so much about players like Marcel Schaefer, who could be really important this season. Described by Dieter Hecking as a perfectionist and fantastic for discipline.
Yeah, of course, I think if he can get that back four, the midfield sorted out, they're always going to score goals. I think they average over 2 goals a game in the Bundesliga. They're going to score goals with that quality they've got there. Maybe is De Bruyne going to leave or not? Are they going to fill that void? But they've got such attacking players, and they're always going to score goals. If you can get that balance between defence and attack right, they'll do well again this year, but I can't see them catching Bayern, I must say.
It's a big ask, it would be for just about anybody, really. 10 points the gap was at the end of last season's Bundesliga. Wolfsburg were the nearest challengers. Caligiuri. Arnold to Villareal. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half at the Emirates, which is filling up more by the minute, of course, in anticipation of Arsenal's game against Lyon, which we will also bring you live on BT Sport. Great to be covering the Emirates Cup, always a great tournament. This is the 8th staging of it. Naldo. He's got his pass away quickly enough to find Villareal. It has been really noticeable just how hard the likes of Leo Baptistao and Gerard Moreno, who we saw there, are working when they haven't got the ball in that sort of area.
Yeah, and I think it's something you don't particularly see a lot of in Spain, do you? Playing with those two strikers, the old 4-4-2. It's not something we associate with Spanish teams, but they're giving it a go. They've brought these two lads in now to try and fill that void, and I've been impressed with them so far. They're bringing players into play, the movement in behind, they're causing them a few problems, and it's I think if they can persist with that and keep working on the fitness, they'll be a threat to the La Liga teams as well. They've really struggled to make any inroads on that sort of top 4, top 5, and the quality above them so much, isn't it? But I've been pleased with what I've seen so far.
I'm sure that man's been pretty happy too. Marcelino. That's quite rightly, and lots of plaudits for the job that he's done at Villareal. Ironically, he lost his previous job. He was released by Sevilla after a defeat to Villareal. Lost his previous job. He was released by Sevilla after a defeat to Villareal. Not just to get them promoted when the club was in something of a slump, really, but then to finish 6th twice in La Liga in successive seasons and get into European football is quite an achievement. They are a club who have so often over the years punched above their weight.
Yeah, again, it's going to be hard for him, losing their star striker and trying to get into that top 5, top 4 is going to be almost impossible. I think there's 16 points behind 5th, so it's going to be incredibly hard for them, but they'll give it a good go, I'm sure.
Perisic, it is, who's been hurt here. He's a player along with Kevin De Bruyne, who at the moment in Germany is the centre of so much transfer speculation, and that really does look a sore one, involved with Manuel Trigueros there.
Yeah, you can see him there, just left his left leg dangling out a little bit, and there's always going to be a risk of injury when you do that, and I think he was just trying to get back in to get the ball, and I think he just caught his trailing leg there, so it looks a nasty one, that they can be sore.
I have to say, for what is a pre-season tournament, there have been no shortage of strong challenges out there. It has had a real competitive edge, this game.
Yeah, there's been, I won't say there's been any nasty tackles. That one, I'm not sure it quite warranted a yellow card there, but the referee deemed so. But I've just been impressed with the way Villareal are pressing and the hunting and the closing the ball down, the pressure. We do associate that a lot with the Spanish teams. When they lose the ball, can they win it back quickly? And they really do hunt in little packs, and I think the balls that have been coming in up to Cruiser and De Bruyne, they've been coming back quite a lot, and they really do get the marking, and the pressing is really, really high tempo.
Just over 5 minutes to go then. The first half at the Emirates Stadium, the first game at the 2015 Emirates Cup, with Arsenal and Lyon to follow. Villareal. Naldo. There's no changes yet by either head coach, but we expect plenty of them. 7 can be made. Here's Cruiser. Kanaka. Sent down the line by Schäfer. Naldo. Of the sides with European football to look forward to next season, Wolfsburg making only their second appearance in the Champions League group stage. We'll discover their opponents when the draw's made in Monaco on the 27th of August. And the day after, Villareal will learn who they're to face in the Europa League group stage. It's a tournament I would think Villareal will feel they can go a long way in, actually. Here's Villareal. Good vision and a fine pass as well, and Perisic was there in the middle for Wolfsburg, acknowledges the intent.
Yeah, again, it's coming down that left-hand side from Schäfer, and just a deflection, it just took the sting out of the cross and fell into the goalkeeper's hand. But they've been, the shape, they're so well drilled, you can see it already, that against those two banks of 4, the two strikers dropping back into their own half, and they're saying, look, come and try and break us down. And I think that the best way for Wolfsburg is to try and play on that counter-attack, because once they get back in shape, it's proving quite hard to break down. There's not really much movement in behind them, runners in behind, and I think you need to try and get 1 or 2 runners in behind just to try and stretch them out a little bit.
Cheer for Casteels, former Belgian under-21 international. We'll return to Emirates Stadium then for Nicholas Bendtner, who's been making the headlines in Germany, sorry to say, for all the wrong reasons just recently. Has been training on his own, given a separate fitness regime. Dieter Hecking, his coach, unhappy with his showing in a recent pre-season friendly against Ajax. Felt that his performance dropped off considerably. Just really felt that he wasn't fit enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's one of those characters. He's definitely got the ability, there's no doubt about that. You look at the clubs that he's played for, like Juventus, Arsenal, Wolfsburg. He's played for some big clubs, he's just not quite ever done it, and he's a bit controversial at times, and you look at him there chewing his gum, he looks very laid back, and I think that's just the way he is. I met him away a couple of years ago, and that's just the way he is. But this is it's a big opportunity for him to come here and impress, and a fantastic club, and I think the manager rightly wants more from him. I think he only scored one Bundesliga goal last year, and he rightly wants more, and he's trying to get that ability out of him, and a lot of managers have struggled with him, and it's a shame really. I hope he takes this opportunity this season.
Spent 9 years at Arsenal, Nicholas Bendtner. I guess Dieter Hecking, like many head coaches before, felt that he could be the man to really get a tune out of Nicholas Bendtner. Still time yet. Villareal. Header from Max Arnold. Nahuel. Quite sure Bruno Soriano would have wanted that pass from Nahuel, but have come away with it, Villareal. Good to see Castillejo moving reasonably freely here. Gets possession again from Bailly. Run forward by Leo Baptistão. Well defended by Naldo.
Yeah, he keeps coming in from that right-hand position, doesn't he, and picking up those little pockets in between the midfield and defence, and it looks like he's got that killer pass in him. He gets his head up, he gets turned, and you see him then trying to thread the ball through. He looks a good player. It looks like he's got that killer pass in him. He gets his head up, he gets turned, and you see him then trying to thread
down the line here by Marcel Schäfer. Throw conceded by Eric Bailly, Ivory Coast international. He was part of the side that won the Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year. He'd only made his senior international debut in January, signed essentially as a replacement for the Arsenal-bound Gabriel Paulista.
He looks very assured for a young man, doesn't he? Comfortable on the ball, you see his strength there, going in with Perisic, and he just seems to be very confident there, playing alongside Victor Ruiz. He looks a good player as well. They've got a few good players in this side, and I said they keep producing these players, and the technical ability and the strength they all possess is amazing.
Guilavogui. Out-muscle Victor Ruiz. It's a good battle, that.
Yeah, they're working really hard, and they've been a credit, haven't they, Villareal? And only a few seconds to go before half-time, we kind of coming into this game thought it would be the other way around a little bit with Wolfsburg. Obviously they've got the big games coming up in the next week, 2 weeks before their season starts, but Villareal have been very impressive, working hard in groups, a good solid structure behind their shape, and they've been very impressive in this first 45 minutes.
So no added time at the end of the first half, and it's Marcelino's Villareal who have the lead at the break. Mario Gaspar with the first, the second scored by Nahuel, the 18-year-old Spain under-19 international. Ivan Perisic on the score sheet as well for Wolfsburg. We expect plenty of changes at half-time, but at the break at the Emirates Stadium in the opening game of the Emirates Cup, it's Wolfsburg 1, Villareal 2.
Curves invite you in. Curves help you escape. Curves inspire you. And definitely dare you. And the new BMW 3 Series was made for every one of them. The ultimate driving machine.
When my buns off the road are not working, So what am I gonna do? His van's off the road, he's not working, so it's time he got something new. Vanarama, Vanarama, Vanarama never wants to call.
Change your van, transform your business with amazing deals like this new Citroen Nemo from just £99 a month. Amazing deals like this.
If you've been refused a loan, don't lose your cool. Visit Amigo Loans. We're fast, friendly and fuss-free. We've already approved over 160,000 people, and every 10 minutes we approve someone new. You can borrow up to £5,000 with a guarantor for whatever you need. Spread your repayments over 1 to 5 years with a representative 49.9% APR variable. So don't lose your cool. Visit amigoloans.co.uk today.
George Watts tweeted, "Nothing beats glorious Goodwood Paddy." Well, we hear you, George. Wake up to glory every day, because at Paddy Power it's not just racing, it's exhilarating. That's why we're giving you money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second or third on one race every day at Glorious Goodwood. Your horse comes up short, you're covered. Second or third, you're gloriously covered. Because we're giving you money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second or third on one race every day at Glorious Goodwood. Bet now with Paddy Power. We hear you. If your horse finishes second or third on one race every day.
The more you move, the more you sweat. Sure Motion Sense technology keeps you fresh when you move. It has unique microcapsules that contain fragrance. Friction breaks the capsules, releasing freshness that lasts all day. Whether you're meeting a deadline, grabbing a bite, or heading out for the night. Motion Sense. Protection to keep you moving. Sure, it won't let you down. In our 4-day spectacular, this stunning solid hardwood chest of drawers is now an amazing $349. 4-day spectacular ends this Sunday.
With Hungry House, your favourite food is always at your fingertips. Happy Saturday. Get 25% off your takeaway today only. Use voucher code TREAT and check out 25% more happy at hungryhouse.co.uk. The easy way to take away.
Gareth and Julie, Winston Wolf. You're looking to insure your house to a price comparison site? Look, if you think you'll only find the best home insurance deal there, then lots of luck.
Coffee, Mr. Wolf, lots of cream, lots of sugar.
Oh, thanks, Morak. I'll see you crazy kids around.
I mean, it's really, really difficult to tell Britain that something like Stonehenge is actually deeply ugly. My vision is for a Stonehenge that reflects the vibrancy of this nation.
I think it could really work.
It's not like I'm going to take the whole thing down. I'm just going to tweak it a bit.
We need to get rid of those three.
Okay.
Those three are completely blocking out the lights.
I'll send an email.
As the nation's favourite designer, I'm going to make it beautiful. All I need is some cash. One lotto win should do it, then I'm all set. I mean, all of us have dreams. Mine are just a little bit more fabulous.
Anyone can win with Lotto. Please, don't let it be him.
Just a little bit more fabulous.
Time is the overseer of all things. It sees men build their kingdoms. It sees them become legendary. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store. Will you build an empire that lasts forever?
Share their memories of Greece.
Welcome back to the Emirates. We'll review that first half in just a minute. Villareal are leading. Let me tell you, coming up later on, international friendly between Borussia Dortmund and Juventus. That's tonight, 6 p.m. over on BT Sport 2. And of course, the Champions League is coming live to our new channel, BT Sport Europe. We are the new home of the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Europa League, and the only place you can see every single match exclusively live, all in one place. For more info, visit btsports.com. As I said, Villareal are leading. David James, Steve McManaman have been watching on, and they've really taken to heart the rule that Mr Wenger likes, that it's a point for every goal, because not quite sure about some of the defending.
The defenders have taken it to heart as well. They know that they should concede goals, shouldn't they? Because as you can say, this is the right back Gaspar links up with back to Stow, pulls it back. And what a swinger this is. Left foot smashes it right into the top corner. He likes to get forward, Gaspar, as we've seen, and he has done in the past. Scored a few goals last year for Villareal, but they started the game really, really well. But as you said, defensively, they can all be called into question for all the goals. But it's all about attack-minded football today.
Some good movement as well there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely play, and Kevin was saying in commentary about the Villareal players and how fluent they look. And the defending questionable, but still got to put it in the back of the net, and that's a wonderful finish there.
What's the worrying part is that Wolfsburg are playing second fiddle to a Villareal side who have only just started their so-called pre-season.
Yeah,
Wolfsburg have got the Super Cup next week. They've got arguably one of the greatest teams around in Bayern, certainly with their new signings.
They did get back into it quite quickly though, Steve, and Ivan Perisic, who's been well linked with Inter Milan, scores the goal in the end.
Yeah, nice ball by De Bruyne, simple enough. Cagliari looks at the cross, and again, this is a simple enough ball. He just needs to put it in the space. Could have been two people knocked it in, but Perisic was at the far post. Gaspar had to come across and cover for the centre defender who went walkabouts. Simple enough finish.
As did Barbosa. I'm not quite sure what the goalkeeper was doing there.
No.
He knows, Jay, what they have to concede.
Of course,
that's
right,
what it's about.
Yeah. well finished in the end.
Nice,
and then Villareal went back ahead. Nawel, who scored. Interesting story, this boy, because he actually scored the final for Spain's under-19s, Steve, during the summer tournament. They won the Euros at under-19 level. They've got high hopes for him.
Yeah, but look at that, Darryl. The goalkeeper, Barbosa, kicks the ball out, is controlled without any pressure on the ball at all. It's a bit of a mismatch, isn't it? And Nawel finishes it off quite comfortably.
Casillas, I mean, I'm not sure again what he's doing there. There's a touch of offside. That is offside. Yes, simply I was going to say a touch of offside, but it is offside. Even this is questionably whether that was offside.
Assistants from pre-season form as well, perhaps.
But a nice flick on by Moreno, and Nawel has to finish it. Dal, you get in these positions. It's great for the young boy to get on the goal scoring sheet early on in pre-season for them.
I'm sure Wolfsburg will want to get back into the game and show some better form, because as Steve said, they start next week. They've got the Super Cup to come against Bayern Munich, don't they? So it's getting a little bit busier in here at the Emirates now. They're looking forward to the second half, but more so Arsenal in action at 4:20 p.m. against Lyon. We'll be back with the second half here next. Looking forward to the second half. Next.
The Nissan X-Trail with all-mode I technologies. No matter what the road throws at you, your story starts here.
One day, a shell found on a beach in Mauritius will go here. A picture of your daughter's graduation will go here. And one day, there'll be pictures of grandchildren here. But for today, it's just a brilliant place for a snooze. Neville Johnson, bespoke lounge, study and bedroom furniture, handcrafted for life. For our latest brochure, visit nevillejohnson.co.uk.
Back in the good old days, if you needed a loan, the bank manager would often ask someone who knew you to guarantee it. Simple. Then things changed, and all those computer credit scores took over. That's why we've gone back to a time when loans were simpler. At Amigo Loans, you don't need a credit score. Just someone who trusts you to guarantee your loan repayments. Borrow up to £5,000 over 1 to 5 years. Come to amigoloans.co.uk.
I made the link and saved £300 a year on my gas bill.
I made the link and didn't have to pay anything for breakdown cover.
We made the link and got a new Worcester Bosch boiler from just £17 a month.
With a 10-year warranty for peace of mind.
All across Britain, thousands of people are making the link and getting a new boiler installed by HelpLink. So go on to help-link.co.uk or call free on 0800 566 8787. HelpLink, the boiler people.
Carly?
Carly?
Coral saves her tennis round the clock. 7 days a week with up to 50 in-play markets on every match. And this great offer. Anyone for tennis? Loads of it. Download the Coral app and check out our smashing tennis offers.
Please bet responsibly.
Get 1/3 off rail fares for you and the person you travel with most for just £30 a year. The Two Together rail card. Where will it take you?
Frustrated with your computer? Our Which experts have written a guide to help you with the computer problems that bug you most. Call now for your free copy. It's packed with simple step-by-step fixes. Sort out internet issues. Stay safe online. Speed up a slow computer. Back up your files. And make your battery last longer. And there's a jargon buster for all those annoying technical terms. So call today on 0800 223 0990 for your free guide.
Some things are surprisingly useful. Take your Experian credit report. Understanding it helps you take control of your finances. It can even get you better rates on mortgages, credit cards, loans and more. Find out the many ways your Experian credit report can help you with a free 30-day trial at experian.co.uk.
The UEFA Champions League. Club football's ultimate prize. And for the first time in UK television history, you can now see every single match live in one place. BT Sport, the new home of the UEFA Champions League.
Back at the Emirates, looking forward to the second half between Wolfsburg and Villareal. Lyon arrived just a few moments ago, and that's Hubert Fournier, their coach. Star list of names on that team sheet who are being courted by many of Europe's top sides. Lyon want to keep them. Players like Clément Grenier, Alexander Lacazette, you can see there as well. And I'm sure there's a couple of other players who'll get a warm welcome here, like Fournier, their coach. Star list of names on that team sheet who are being courted by many of Europe's top sides. Lyon want to keep them. Players like Clément Grenier, Alexander Lacazette, you can see there as well. And I'm sure there's a couple of other players who'll get a warm welcome here, like Steve Malbrook, ex-Spurs player. He may well get a bit of booing if he comes on later on. Teams are just about to emerge. Steve McManaman and David James are with me. Interesting to see what Wolfsburg do here, but they've got loads of players they can bring on, including Nicholas Bentner.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what type of reception he gets here, Nicholas, and he certainly needs to play more, doesn't he? Because the manager has come out and he's not happy about his fitness and the way he returned back into pre-season. He thought he was a little bit heavy, let's call it that. But I'd expect them to make changes because they need to up the tempo and they need to get into gear if they've got a huge game next week, because they need to play a much better than they have done today.
And they are making changes, just hearing that Max Arnold is coming off, Andreas Schürrle is coming on, so they're strengthening it as well for the second half, David.
Yeah, Schürrle I think is a fantastic player, obviously with the transfer from Chelsea, which I was surprised at the time. But another astute move by Jose Mourinho. But I mean, yeah, they need to get into this, start scoring more goals, getting more opportunities, and obviously get more points.
Okay, as you can see, there are a few changes. I'm sure the guys will fill you in on that in just a few moments. So back over to Kevin Davis and Adam Summerton.
Welcome back. So there is that change made by Dieter Hecking, with Max Arnold being replaced here by the former Chelsea man, André Schürrle. And we're also seeing from a Villareal perspective, Thomas Pina brought on in midfield to replace Trigueros. I have to say, I thought there would be more changes at half-time, but I expect there will be quite a few more in the second half. Of course, both of these sides with 23-man squads playing 2 games over 2 days, so it naturally dictates that that will be the case. As we get underway for the second half, Villareal with that 2-1 lead from the first 45. I have to say, just matching the achievements of last season, a difficult task for both these clubs. Indeed, the management at each have sought to play down expectations. Wolfsburg ended last season with 69 points, the same number they achieved in their title-winning season of 2009. Also boasted a first-ever German Cup success and that run to the Europa League quarter-finals. A second successive sixth-place finish in La Liga, some going for Villareal when you consider they were only promoted back to the top flight in 2013. I have to say, Kevin Davis, I think we've both been impressed, particularly by the Spanish side so far.
Yeah, definitely in that first half, expected a lot more from Wolfsburg. Listening to Steve McManaman there, been largely disappointing. We know what they're capable of and they can score goals, but with a week to go into that big game against Bayern Munich, just expected a little bit more in terms of the tempo and the pace they were playing. Always going to be a threat. They've got great players and they put a strong team out here, let's not forget that, but Villareal were very impressive that first half.
De Bruyne looking to combine with Schürrle. Really important few months ahead for Schürrle, who signed from Chelsea for 32 million euros in January of 2015. By his own admission, that half a season at Wolfsburg that he's had so far was not particularly overwhelming. Those his words, not mine. Just the 1 goal in 14 Bundesliga appearances, but in his defence, Kevin, 7 of those were from the bench. We've seen how difficult it is to get into this forward line now at Wolfsburg.
Yeah, of course, and that's the array of talent they have in terms of going forward. They've got a lot of great attacking players who can slot into any of those positions along the front three, and that striker there, competition right throughout the places there. It's just a little bit behind. I think Knockers looks a bit shaky and a bit lethargic at times. If you can get it right at the back, as I said in the first half, they'll be a real threat for most teams in Europe. Going forward, they're a pleasure to watch, but the first half a little bit disappointing. Expect a bit more the second half from them.
And Schürrle racing for the middle there with Kruse out wide, looking to find him with a cross, and quickly takes the throw in. Max Kruse was so disappointed back in 2014 not to be selected for the World Cup. Max Kruse ended up playing that summer in a poker tournament in Las Vegas of all places. Castillejo, not where Max Kruse had expected to be. I hope he won. Castillejo, supported by Mario Gaspar, who scored that fabulous opening goal. Looked like a handball, I have to say, from Robin Knocker. Schürrle, with De Bruyne beyond him, skips past the challenge of Mario Gaspar, looking to use the pace of De Bruyne, but it's well defended by Victor Ruiz.
Yeah, not great passing the end from Schürrle, but that's where they can be the most dangerous, on that counter-attack when Villareal have got those bodies committed forward. Can they break quickly? And they've certainly got the ability and the passing ability, the pace to do that, and that's a little bit better from them. I expect them to see a bit more on the counter. It's when Villareal get back into this shape, they're finding it hard to break them down.
Certainly no one at Wolfsburg will be getting carried away with last season's progress. Dortmund's slide perhaps provides a note of caution for them. Like the Wolves last season, Dortmund had finished runners-up in the Bundesliga in 2014, yet found themselves incredibly in a relegation battle halfway through last season. It'll be intriguing to see how Dortmund go under Thomas Tuchel now that the Klopp era is officially over. And who knows where Jurgen Klopp will pop up next. That remains to be seen. Nahuel scored the goal that's the difference between the sides. Bruno Soriano. Covering here is the right back, Villareal, but under pressure by Jaume Costa. That pressure's won it back for Villareal. I guess the message from Marcelino to his players at half-time would simply have been more of the same, please. And we saw, again, what we mentioned in the first half, Kevin Davis, was that pressing off the ball by the Villareal players. There's been a real high energy to their game.
Yeah, and I think you have to give them credit for that. I think, as I said, Wolfsburg were a bit lacklustre in that first half in terms of their energy and the movement. We spoke a lot about the front three and the striker, the terrific going forward, but just want a bit more at times. They're a bit flat, and they'll be pleased with his shape, the energy they've shown in terms of trying to win the ball back, and going forward they look a threat as well, so we'll be pleased with what we've seen so far.
Gerard Moreno doing well to win the corner kick. And something else that Marcelino, I think, will have been really encouraged by is the understanding that already seems to be developing between Gerard Moreno and Leo Baptistao up top.
Yeah, I was really impressed with those, just the all-round game, the two of them there. As I say, it's a bit unusual we see in Spain, but them two linked up well. They look like form a strong partnership.
Castillejo with the corner, tied it up here by Kevin De Bruyne. And now Bruno Soriano. It's a really nice pass. Leo Baptiste out, looking for Gerard Moreno. It's a brilliant dummy. How about that for football from Villareal? He played that ever so well.
Yeah, lovely play again. It's that man, Leo Baptiste, though. He looks great. I mean, he gets a bit lucky there with the deflection, but you see him playing the ball in there. Great over from Gerard Moreno, and he was on there for Pina, but he put it over the bar. But good play from them again. Great understanding between the players, and as you said before, they're linking up really well. They've got that awareness and a good understanding so early on in pre-season.
Thomas Pina brought on at half-time. He was signed from Mallorca back in July of 2013, and another injury stoppage here. We saw a fair few of them in the first half. Didn't lead to any added time, I should say, at the end of the first half. Javier Espinosa about to be brought on then by Marcelino. Former Spanish youth international Javier Espinosa, who was loaned out in the second half of last season to Almeria and then was actually relegated with them as well, Javier Espinosa. It looks very much like Nahuel's game is over. And certainly left his mark on it. The Spanish under-19 international with that lovely finish, which is the difference between the teams. Able to afford a smile there for Castillejo as he makes his way off the pitch. Nahuel, disappointing to see him go off, but it's a chance for Javier Espinosa, who, having been loaned out in the second half of last season, might well feel he's got a point to prove.
Yeah, of course, and obviously he's taken no risk with Nahuel there. He's had a good first half, he's done enough, he's had a good workout. He's a constant threat down that left-hand side, but there's no point in taking any injuries now, and it gives obviously Espinosa now an opportunity to come on and show what he can do.
Still only 22 years old, Espinosa. Spent 9 years at Barcelona, whom he joined at the age of 13. More speculation of Premier League interest in Espinosa during this summer. Sent inside by Perisic, who scored Wolfsburg's only goal of the game. 2-1 they trail. Bruno Soriano sends it in the direction of Gerard Moreno. Now Kevin De Bruyne for Wolfsburg. Caligiuri, with Schürrle making a run through the middle, as is Kevin De Bruyne. Wide instead here for Max Kruse. Perisic is in there as well for Wolfsburg. Pina, they found the space brilliantly there, Villareal, and looking dangerous on the attack again here with Gerard Moreno. Castillejo, more great build-up play, the shot by Leo Baptiste out. But they look really stretched there with Villareal on the counter. Wolfsburg. Mario Gaspar, as we saw early in the first half, loves to get forward and often to devastating effect as well. Perisic now for Wolfsburg. Certainly Wolfsburg will be hoping for a better start than last season. Only won one of their first 5 Bundesliga fixtures. They dropped 10 points in those 5 games and ended the season 10 points behind Bayern. Villarreal's start to La Liga wasn't too bad actually, only lost 2 of their first 8 and they were against Barca and Real Madrid.
I think for Wolfsburg it's going to be difficult for them to try and better what they did last year, finishing second and winning the German Cup. It's going to be hard for them. I think they'll be more concerned about the teams behind them, Mönchengladbach and teams like that. You know, they'll be by Leverkusen, the teams that will be trying. There wasn't too many points between them and them, so trying to get that second spot and win a cup is about as good as it gets for them, really.
Leo Baptiste out, as Castillejo calling for it to his right. And he might be wishing now that he'd played the pass instead of having the shot there, Leo Baptiste out.
Yeah, good play again there. You see, the shot was disappointing. I thought he might have shaped it to the right-hand side instead of going across the goalkeeper. It seemed to open up on that side for him, but disappointing shot at the end. But I think overall he's been really good and linked up really well with Gerard Moreno so far.
Wolfsburg's first Bundesliga game, by the way, is at home against Frankfurt. Volkswagen Arena, a daunting prospect for visiting sides these days. Wolfsburg took 43 points from a possible 51 on their own patch last season, equaling Bayern's points haul at the Allianz Arena, which is some going. They haven't actually lost in the Bundesliga at home since March of 2014. Quite exceptional, really. Caligiuri now finds Perisic. Chased down by Samuel Castillejo. Perisic with the cross, it was deflected, it made it slightly awkward for the goalkeeper, Mariano Barbosa, but he dealt with it. Well, this would be a very interesting change if Nicolas Bentner were to come on. He's getting some instructions there and sent back to the bench now. And the shin pads are going on for Nicolas Bentner, whose arrival, it would seem, is imminent. As the guys were saying at half-time, Kevin Davis, his reception at the Emirates will be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think he got a decent round of applause before the game when his name was read out, and I think he'll be coming on probably for Max Kruse, but he scored a few goals here. He wasn't far away from 1 in 3, did okay for Arsenal. I just think there's that frustration with him that he can always do more, and I think everyone senses that, and looking forward to seeing what he's got to do and what shape he's in.
We'll find out soon. He certainly needs minutes under his belt, Nicolas Bentner. As we were saying earlier, he's been training on his own, ordered to do that by Dieter Hecking, who's been a little bit unhappy with his physical condition. Gerard Moreno able to take that. It's that with Castiles. Kanaka. Schäfer. Here with Castiles again. Up towards Schürrle, challenged by Bailly, and now it's Perisic for Wolfsburg. Again, good defending by Adik Bailly, who's been impressive so far.
He's done really well, hasn't he, Bailly? I've been impressed by him. He looks a cool customer, he looks very composed back there and assured, and for someone so young and not much experience, he looks a real talent. He's been really demanding and commanding back there. He's been great.
He made his first team debut for his previous club, Espanyol, in October of 2014. Since then, he's won the Africa Cup of Nations, having made his senior international debut. Got himself in the Villareal first team. And improving game by game, it would seem. De Bruyne to Kruse. So 3 changes then to be made here by Dieter Hecking. Nicolas Bentner amongst them. Ivan Perisic, one of those coming off here, and of course scored Wolfsburg's only goal. We're going to be seeing as well, coming on from Wolfsburg, Francisco Rodriguez, a recent arrival from FC Zurich. He's the brother of the regular left-back Ricardo Rodriguez. Coming on here is Sebastian Jung, a right-back by trade, signed from Eintracht Frankfurt this time last year. Had a frustrating first season, I think it's fair to say, at Wolfsburg. Here is Francisco Rodriguez, signed this week, as I say, from FC Zurich of the Swiss Super League. And it is a good ovation for Nicolas Bentner, which is good to hear. Can he respond to that ovation is the question.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll appreciate that, and like I say, he had a decent scoring record here. I think you just get frustrated because I think you feel you can get there's more from him, and I think that's just the way he is as a person. I just think he needs to push himself a little bit more, and he's found himself at a fantastic club in Wolfsburg, and I'm sure everyone's looking forward to, like I am, to seeing him play here tonight.
His last competitive goal was 4-1 against Napoli back on the 16th of April. Because it wasn't just Arsenal whom he played for in England, also with Birmingham City and Sunderland.
Confirmation 14 has been replaced by 35 Francisco Rodriguez.
That with Castiles, one clearance by him, and it's the first touch for Bentner, and it's a good one. Schürrle, challenged by Adik Bailly. Didn't appreciate this challenge, Andre Schürrle. But is that sort of defender, Eric Bailly. It's perhaps why he has done so well at Villareal. He never lets the forward settle for a moment. Another seconds piece from the Ivory Coast international. Here's Naldo. Kanaka. Schäfer, impressive so far at left back. Of course, in terms of playing in that position, he has Ricardo Rodriguez in the way. Once the real competitive action gets going, a player described by Dieter Hecking as the best left back in the Bundesliga. Schürrle to aim for in the middle, he almost got to that as well. Alive to it was Mariano Barbosa. Mario Gaspar. They really are playing with confidence out there, Villareal.
I think it just shows how fit they are to continually be able to do this kind of work rate. I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes in the next 5 or 10 minutes where a few of those will be coming off, but they've worked extremely hard and been very compact and made it difficult for Wolfsburg. They've been a credit so far.
Rodriguez looking to exchange passes with Villareal. Can play either on the right of the midfield, the younger of the Rodriguez brothers, or indeed in a central area, so he provides them with some flexibility in that respect. Schäfer. Caligiuri, who was called up by Antonio Conte to the Italian national squad at the end of last season in June, the provisional squad for the Croatia game. He didn't actually make the cut, but he would have been delighted to know that he's in the thoughts of Antonio Conte. Schäfer. Here's Bentner. Trapped by Eric Bailly. Schäfer. Villareal. This is deflected. It's helped out Villareal, who are able to clear to Leo Baptiste out. Bit of pressure being applied here by Wolfsburg. Gilavogui. Hit well enough, but rather straight at the goalkeeper, Mariano Barbosa.
Yeah, good play there. Nothing wrong with taking a shot on from there from Gilavogui. Just cuts in onto his left foot. Strike from 25, 26 yards, comfortable in the end for Barbosa. He's not had much to do, Barbosa, so far. Comfortable save in the end for him.
You think almost certainly that Alphonse Areola will be the first choice this season at Villareal. I doubt he would have agreed to go there were that not the case. He really needs game time, having been back up to Sirigu and sent on loan to Bastia last season. Here's Castillejo looking to Benoit. Certainly something that we saw him do at Malaga last season, cutting in from that right-hand side, using his left foot. Just couldn't quite bend it enough.
No, he looks disappointed there, but disappointed he's not at least at the target. But again, he's just trying to whip it. Didn't quite get the whip and the purchase to bring it in on time, but he looks a real threat. He looks very comfortable on the ball, and you can see the disappointment on his face there.
He managed 1 goal in La Liga last season. Castillejo did provide 5 assists for Malaga. The crowd enjoyed that. And not so much. Leo Baptiste out. Another change imminent from Villareal. Jonathan Pereira it is who's going to be coming on here for Marcelino's side, former Spanish under-21 international. He was loaned out to Rayo Vallecano in La Liga to begin with last season, rarely featured, so then dropped to the second tier with Valladolid, again on loan. We have several players in this squad now who have been brought back from loan spells and will feel that they have a fight on their hands to get into the first team plans of Marcelino, who I'm sure his summer recruitment won't be finished yet either. Having to have something of a rebuild. Really were hit really badly by injuries, particularly in the second half of last season. Villareal, you might have noticed that Musacchio isn't available for them at the moment. Picked up a nasty injury at the end of last season, at a time when he was being linked with Chelsea and Spurs amongst others. Castillejo has Pina in support. Good movement in front of him. Turns away from Caligiuri. Pre-season perhaps the time to get the tricks that go wrong out of the system for Samu Castillejo. And here comes that change that we were just talking about with Jonathan Pereira being brought on. He'll replace Leo Baptistão up top.
Substitutions. 10, Leo Baptistão.
Certainly worked hard up top, the man on loan from Atletico, Leo Baptistão.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him, along with Gerard Moreno. I think they've formed a great partnership there for a couple of players that have only really just got to know each other. I think there's a lot of promise there, and I think Marcelino will be really pleased with what he's seen in that 65 minutes.
Castillejo is being taken off as well by Villareal, and it's Alex Garcia who comes on for Castillejo. Garcia, just 18 years old, Spanish under-18 international until recently, joined the club in 2005 when he was just 8 years old. With his senior debut in April of last year. He was only 16 at the time. And it is great, isn't it, to see that conveyor belt that Villareal have been known for in years past for a long time now is still continuing.
Yeah, it's great for these players to come and play in this wonderful stadium. You know, superb pitch. It's one of the best sort of arenas in Europe, isn't it, to come and play your football, and they'll no doubt gain a lot of experience from coming here and playing in England, and obviously getting out on the pitch and competing, trying to get into that first team. It's what it's all about, that competition for places, the experience for players so young. It's fantastic for them.
Pina turns away from Bentner. Bailly. Mario Gaspar. Pina. By Victor Ruiz, didn't quite find its destination. Vieirinha, Bentner's calling for it, it would have reached him, but for a really important block by Eric Bailly, who continues to impress in the heart of that Villareal backline.
Yeah, just about did enough on that occasion, but got himself in a good position to defend the cross. He wasn't too aware of where Bentner is. He might have got away with that one a bit of a better ball there. He could have been in a bit of trouble, but dealt with it in the end.
Naldo finds Skilovogi. No doubting Villareal's major strengths and weaknesses last season. Actually had a better defensive record than Real Madrid. Conceded 37, but struggled for goals. Haven't done today though, leading by 2-1.
You see there, I wasn't too sure he was aware where Bentner was. It was a decent run from Bentner, and I think a better ball in, maybe on a diagonal. I think Bailly would have been in a little bit of trouble, but he just got away with that one.
Like a shove by Knocker, and it was right in the line of sight of the referee. Straight away blew his whistle. Down the line by Garcia. Mario Gaspar to take the throw in. It was he who started the scoring at the 2015 Emirates Cup with that fantastic hit in the first half. Perisic with the equaliser for Wolfsburg 2 minutes later. A goal that separates the side, scored by Nahuel, who has unfortunately had to go off injured. Didn't look a serious one though. Schäfer, and now Knocker. So many goal threats in this Wolfsburg squad. Really exciting side that they're building. Nowhere near their best today. Maybe you're saving a little bit in the tank for Bayern a week today. But they did have the second best attack in the Bundesliga by some distance last season. Scored 72 goals, only Bayern with 80 scored more.
Yeah, it's always, I mean, it's pre-season, you want to get some fitness out of it, some sharpness, and obviously they're pretty close now to the business end with the season starting with the Super Cup, so they'll take the fitness out of the game, but in terms of the quality, they've not been quite at it, and I've covered them a few times. They've been largely disappointing going forward. Lots of changes now, of course, and disjointed, but
plenty of activity down on the Villareal bench, preparing some changes as Naldo tries his luck. An ambitious one from the big centre-back. Turns 33 in September, the Brazilian international. We have a whole host of live football coming up for you to enjoy ahead of the season start from the Emirates Cup after this game. Tantalising prospect this is. Arsenal, the hosts, up against Lyon, who was so impressive in Liga last season in finishing second, and they're in action again tomorrow as well against Villareal. That tomorrow from 1:30 on BT Sport 1. And then we have Arsenal against Wolfsburg to complete the Emirates Cup. Don't forget as well that we're only just over a week away from the season curtain raiser in England. Arsenal against Chelsea next Sunday. Triple change then being made by Marcelino. Gerard Moreno coming off here, and it's Antonio Rucavina who will come on to replace him. Wolfsburg readying a couple more substitutions as well. Bruno Soriano being withdrawn, and Ivan Alejo coming on too. Can be hard to keep track of all the changes up in the commentary box. You can only wonder how difficult it can be from the players at times in this sort of situation.
21, Bruno Soriano.
Substitution here for Wolfsburg. This is a player I've been intrigued to see, actually. One of the Wolfsburg youngsters we've mentioned much about Villareal's. This is Paul Zeguin. German youth graduate, 20 years old. His only first-team appearance competitively was in a cup match in March of this year. He was on the bench 3 times in the Bundesliga last season. Paul Zeguin. Naldo. Schäfer. And now Knoche. Naldo. Knoche. Wolfsburg looking to come from behind here in this opening game of the Emirates Cup. Schäfer not under pressure, but it was unfair pressure being applied by Ivan Alejo, and it's a free kick to Wolfsburg. Naldo. Was Bayern seeking a 4th successive league title in Germany this season, overwhelming favourites to win the Bundesliga again. Wolfsburg, their nearest challenge last season, the gap 10 points. Nothing compared to the 34 Villareal and the La Liga champions Barcelona. They were even 17 behind Valencia, who claimed 4th in the final Champions League place. I guess that's the next logical ambition for Villareal. It's going to be a really big ask for Marcelino. If he could achieve that, that really would be some going. It's worked wonders to get them promoted from the 2nd tier, and indeed in the European places and the Europa League places 2 seasons running. Player who's been linked with so many big clubs right across Europe during the summer, the top scorer in Liga in the previous campaign, has pledged his future, verbally at least, to Lyon, and I'm sure they'll be absolutely delighted about that.
Yeah, I think they won't relax until he signed that contract. We've seen recently what happened to the likes of Fabian Delph, and so I think he's a cracking player, one of the best in Europe at the moment, and the crowd starting to fill up. Looking forward to seeing Arsenal obviously play against Lyon, and some great players on display again in this second game of this Emirates Cup.
Have done really well during the summer, the head coach Hubert. Yeah, and indeed the hierarchy at Lyon to persuade some of their younger players to stay with the club, believe in what they're looking to achieve. Just wonder whether they could possibly challenge PSG. Did so well to do so last season. Huge ask though against such financial clout. Header by Kanaka.
I think if Lyon can
Sebastian Jung was taught that he might return to Eintracht Frankfurt this summer, but Dieter Hecking has said that he really wants to keep Sebastian Jung at the club for what would be his second season. It was a real frustration from the player that he was left out of the squad for the cup final against Dortmund. Had been expected to make that right-back berth his own last season, but just for one reason or another didn't really work out. Had been expected to make that right-back berth his own last season, but just for one reason or another didn't really work out.
Squad looked fit. If you get the fitness right along with the quality, you can work hard during pre-season. Start that season, you hit that ground running and put out a statement and build on that. That's what you aim to do from pre-season.
Alex Garcia trying to combine with Mario Gaspar. You could see what they were trying to do. Didn't quite work.
No, not on that occasion. The game's obviously it's come to a little bit of disjointing now. All the subs that have come on, it's hard for either team to really get into any kind of shape, and it's hard to tell the shape of Wolfsburg now. They're stretched all over the park, and one or two players that have played 75, 78 minutes so far obviously will start to show signs of being tired, but hopefully we'll see another goal or two before this one's out. I don't think it's quite over just yet.
It's only 56 days actually since Wolfsburg lifted the German Cup in Berlin. Header forward by Mario Gaspar. Schürrle, who's been relatively quiet in this second half. And foul by Eric Bailly. I think one of the reasons he has been quiet, Kevin, is that Eric Bailly hasn't allowed him to be anything else, really.
He's been dominant. He's had a great game. Very assured, comfortable on the ball, looks strong. Comfortable on the ball, looks strong.
See about as we approach the closing stage of this game.
See that this quite got really game the first 15 minutes. It's going to be a lot more goals, and his arms frustrated. He wants more, obviously, with next Saturday on more from that game, but no way. In the week, resting after the game, tomorrow, preparing. We'll see how the team fares tomorrow.
His job right now, with so much excitement in Czech, and this is a club that's in it. One of those was last season.
Exactly. Points of Bayern to go and win. It's a great day for them, and to go on and do anything like that again this season, it's going to be tough for them, but they're a good team, and
Alex will take the call. Keep it off. Nicholas Bentner coming here will always to think it's approaching 10 years since their memorable semi-final. 1-0 was you might remember who got the winning goal. Late penalty.
Overall, he's had a quite disappointing game today.
Forward by Gaspar. Espinosa sends it in field to Pina. He's kept things ticking over in that midfield since coming on at half-time. Jonathan Pereira in the middle, too high for him. Cleared by Ziegler. He's kept things ticking over in that midfield. Coming on at half-time. Jonathan Pereira in the middle, too high for him. Cleared by Ziegler. Alex Garcia does really well to bring it down, and that's an intelligent pass as well. Mario Gaspar, it's a teasing cross in towards Jonathan Pereira, and safety first from Sebastian Jung.
Yeah, I think he's had a good game, hasn't he, Mario Gaspar? You can see his experience getting down that right side, and quality on the end of it as well, and the deflection nearly took it into the place of Pereira, and Wolfsburg just managed to scramble that one away.
No surprise really that Villareal are so desperate to keep hold of Mario Gaspar with that reported interest from Sevilla, who lost Alex Vidal to Barcelona this summer. And always the frustration, I should imagine, for Villareal supporters that they seem to have that glass ceiling, partly because their better players are so often taken away from them. Just recently we've seen Gabriel Paulista move to Arsenal. Francisco Rodriguez with the ball in field to Bentner, and Schürrle has gone down here with a decision to make, and he was very calm about it. No appeals from Schürrle, and a goal kick to Villareal.
Yeah, I think the referee got this one right. We see Bentner, we think he's going to shoot, and he just sees the run of Schürrle, and I think there's nothing in that at all. It's just a little tangle between the teeth, and Iniga just did enough to get it away, but the referee got that one right.
Naldo's header forward, up towards Schürrle. Eric Bailly Mario Gaspar through the legs of Caligiuri. Jonathan Pereira. Mario Gaspar's continued his run forward. Still absolutely full of running, the right back, despite the fact we're in the tail end of a game of which he's one of the few who's still on, who started it.
Yeah, that's just a testament down to his professionalism, his fitness, and the manager willing to give him the full 90 minutes by the looks of it. And as I say, these guys have got 4 weeks to go until their season really kicks off, and they look fit already. They look well organised and well drilled in that 4-4-2. The players that come on have done well, and I've been really impressed with Villareal over the course of the game, and I think Wolfsburg is obviously disappointed.
Schäfer. Wolfsburg, a club that's experienced so much in the last 12 months, good and bad. Champions League qualification, their first ever German Cup success, record signing in Schürrle. An amazing 4-1 win they had over Bayern. There was also the incredibly tragic loss of Junior Malanda, who died in a car accident on the 10th of January at the age of just 20. Really was great to see so many tributes to him at the German Cup final back in May. Alejo, we dwelt a little bit too much on that. Less than 4 minutes of normal time remaining. If the first half is anything to go by, there won't be much, if anything at all, added on. Schäfer. Ziegler. Zeguin finds Nalda. Time rapidly running out here for Wolfsburg to find an equaliser. In towards Nicholas Bentner, guided back to his goalkeeper by Eric.
Great defending again from Barry. He just got his body in the way and shielded the ball and left Bosa to come and clean that one up, and he's had an excellent game. He's been outstanding, probably one of the best players on the park for me, along with Mario Gaspar at right back. And Bosa to come and clean that one up, and he's had an excellent game. He's been outstanding, probably one of the best players on the park for me, along with Mario Gaspar at right back. And
Marcel Schäfer loitering on the edge of the area.
Bosa to come and
it's broken for Schürrle. Schäfer. Schürrle again. It's vicious one, but some way over the crossbar from Andre Schürrle.
yeah, we see him falling for him nicely, and I mean, it's very ambitious in it and way over in the end. And I think, as I was just saying before, the last 45 minutes he's been disappointing. He's making the runs in behind, and he's not quite got the, I think a week to go, a bit more from the, but he's mopping up as he's been doing the game.
Last goals were a hat-trick for Germany in a 7-0 win over Gibraltar. June for Schürrle. Just wonder how much, perhaps still feeling the hangover time at Bailey, where he only made 12 in total actually. Wolfsburg, so from the start of those clubs last season, the 2 minute £20 between. Should be the Gunners side. Liga last season is among us for this. There's so many here. Benziga. By Andre Schürrle. Back though, the layoff here. Jonathan Pereira. It was 3 against 2 for a moment there. Battling back was Paul Zeguin. Took one for the team, I think, there.
Yeah, he took one for the team, didn't he? He stopped the break there. Again, it's here, the back and determined back and then all. Pleasure to watch this afternoon.
Alejo. Alex Garcia. Rukavina. Serbian international Rukavina. Espinosa. Last seconds of the game here. Short final opportunity. Wolfsburg. On that check the clearance by Gaspar. Is the last of the game. Victory for Emirates. Wolfsburg play face in the German. So they might a little back. Season prep. Now to give credit side betting that you would never own that. They took the lead through Gaspar. 8 fantastic right by him. The equaliser scored by Ivan Perisic 2 minutes later. Nahuel it was who scored the winner for Villareal. That's a slight sour note that Nahuel had to go. That isn't too serious. It said Emirates Stadium returner Nicola Brunner for all the Wolfsburg players. Kevin De Bruyne, good to see him. But it's finished here in the opening game of the Emirates Cup. Wolfsburg 1, Villareal 2.